I've had a relationship with the guys at TMZ, and if you type TMZ in the Vegas Take, they've used some of my interviews, they've used some of my videos, and I started a friendship with Evan Rosenblum, who is the head of TMZ Sports. He's the executive producer. Super nice guy. I've always enjoyed him, and having him and Mike Babcock join us on the show a lot is great. I love the guys at TMZ. I think they do a really good job. I've never had a problem with them. But TMZ's newsroom is now being accused of racism, misogyny, verbal abuse, according to ex-employees. One current employee told BuzzFeed News that the culture of TMZ is that of unchecked abuse of power. This employee said if you're talking about the rights of black people, if you're talking about misogyny, if you're talking about equality amongst everyone, it's never reflected in the workplace. We're reporting on all that stuff, but we're not doing it ourselves. Another former employee said that Harvey, Levin, and other executive producers screamed and cursed at them on a regular basis. This might offend some of you, but I am going to say it on the air. Some former employees said that Harvey Levin called people retarded and morons and made comments like talking to you guys is like talking to a room full of special ed kids. He said, my dog takes better direction than you. One former employee said they felt physically threatened by executives at TMZ. Another employee, his name is Ryan Newman, he filed a complaint with the Equal Opportunity Commission back in 2014. This is a long time ago. After Levin allegedly outed him as being gay to the rest of his colleagues, 6 other former employees also said they made HR complaints. Back in 2014, another employee, Taryn Hillen, filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers, TMZ, and Evan Rosenblum, who I know personally, alleging gender discrimination in an environment for women. Said Rosenblum routinely yelled and humiliated her, making comments like, don't be a girl. She said, I was told I did not have the experience to be an associate. See, this is what bothers me the most. She said, I was told I did not have the experience to be an associate producer. So I called them out and said, you just hired a male associate producer who had significantly less experience than I do, who's straight out of school. How do you explain that? And they chalked it up to nepotism. She said, are you surprised that the person who has made a career off of getting everyone's dirt, are you surprised that guy's not being cast out? According to one former TMZ employee. This is bad stuff, and I think the way it's going to end is they're going to have to pay a lot of money. Listen, even when you watch the TMZ show, at times they're very dismissive to the women who speak on the show. Listen, all I can tell you is this. I once applied for a job at TMZ. I was engaged at the time, and what is now my ex-fiance lived in L.A. with her kids. And I had some contacts at TMZ, and Evan Rosenblum was one of them, and he got me an interview, and they were going to hire me. Folks, I'm not going to make this up. I've done pretty well in radio. I've been able to take care of myself. I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire. Keep in mind, this is L.A., JD, okay? This is L.A. They were going to hire me. They were going to pay me $600 a week. And I said to them, how can you justify that? And their response was, Harvey puts you on a probationary period for 3 months. If after 3 months they want you, they'll pay you more money. I said, how am I supposed to live on $600 a week in L.A.? And by the way, that's where TMZ is. It's not like they live in, a very poor part of California. I want to live fairly close to TMZ, right? They were going to pay me $600 a week. Now, some people in Vegas might say, well, Brian, you could live on that. Not in L.A., you can't. Not with the type of job that is. And by the way, I was making a lot more money at the current job I was at right here in Las Vegas. $600 a week. TMZ makes boatloads of money. That is disgusting, and that really turned me off. And listen, other than that experience of applying for a job there, and this was many, many years ago, the guys at TMZ have been great to me. They've been great to us. They're very nice. Evan Rosenblum has always been cool with me. Always. Mike Babcock at TMZ Sports. He comes on the show all the time. They've been great to me. But then again, I'm not a woman. I don't know. I don't know if this stuff is true or not, but is it out of the realm of possibility to believe that Harvey talks to some of his employees like that? That he outs gay people? Is this out of the realm of possibility? You have now dozens of former employees, and many of the employees said they were afraid to talk about this at the time because they didn't want to lose their job. Yeah. I think this is very, very believable to me. I don't want to believe it. I hope that Evan Rosenblum, who I know personally, has not mistreated his employees. I hope it's not true. But in regards to Harvey, absolutely believable in my opinion. I believe these employees, and I believe he said these types of things. It's
good that Mike Babcock was never mentioned, though, right?
No. Evan Rosenblum from TMZ Sports, executives, the higher-ups, and Harvey were the people that were listed here.
Well, I mean, what did he say? He said, don't be a girl. Is that what he said?
That's one of the comments, but also,
do you have a problem with him saying "Don't be a girl, Brian"? Honestly,
I don't think. I don't
I have
think
no
you
problem
should,
with that
I don't
whatsoever.
think. I don't think you should be sued for that. However, if you hire somebody with little experience right out of college, and you have a woman who has much more experience and is more qualified, that's an issue.
Well, it really depends on what the guidelines are.
Well,
what the company policy is.
They claim
the company still has the right to hire who they want to.
Here's the problem.
It's a private business.
I understand, but they claimed to her she didn't have the experience. If that's the criteria, then listen. If they
maybe she didn't have the correct type of experience. Maybe he had a different type of experience that they preferred. Maybe they wanted a guy instead of a girl. Maybe vice versa. I mean, you can't make, unless there's some type of state law that says that you have to have equal across the board based on education and the hiring process.
Well, you can't discriminate. You can't not hire somebody because of gender or because of race. There are laws in effect.
But you're assuming that that's the only reason that she's not being hired. You don't know that. They may just like this guy more.
It is impossible.
Despite the fact that he isn't overly experienced, they think that he has a higher ceiling. They think he's more talented.
Okay, JD, we don't know.
Exactly. But neither does she. That's why I think her lawsuit's not going to go anywhere.
Well,
now if Harvey is calling people names and trying to out people as homosexuals, and it's really deeply offending people and hurting people, then that's something totally different. But I think that part of the lawsuit is going to be taken to the wayside.
Listen, this is a cumulative lawsuit. There are there are dozens of former employees that are involved in this lawsuit. This isn't just about somebody calling somebody a girl.
And I'm surprised about being in LA. I'm very surprised that it would be some type of, I don't know, groundbreaking thing that a guy ended up being a homosexual who worked for TMZ.
But it's academic to the workplace.
Downtown LA.
But it's academic to the workplace, and it's nobody's business. And I'm sure you would agree that the boss should not be talking like that if he did.
No, I totally agree.
And
with
it's
that.
inappropriate.
But also, we saw what happened. Didn't Mike Babcock get attacked by that guy?
No. There's no attack. They got it. You're talking about something different. The listeners don't know
I thought he was in a headlock.
No, the listeners don't know what you're talking about. So Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports, who comes on this show all the time, there was an African American that's working at TMZ. They got into a verbal dispute over Donald Trump. The African American was fired, and Babcock was able to keep his job. My understanding is there was no physical confrontation. It was a verbal yelling match, and it was completely inappropriate.
Are you sure there was nothing physical at all involved in that?
According to what Mike told me, that's exactly what happened, and according to the reports. All right, so we'll see what happens with this TMZ lawsuit. If, in fact, this stuff did happen, TMZ is going to have to pay for it. I don't condone any of that, and it shouldn't happen anywhere in society, especially in the workplace.